The calculation of WorkCover benefits, or PRE as we call it, which is pre-injury average weekly earnings, has been simplified particularly by the current state Labor government in relation to changes to the legislation. So simplified in the sense that all shift allowances, penalties, etc. are now included. So essentially you look at your ordinary time rate of pay, and then you include in that your shift penalties and allowances, and that prevails in terms of the calculation of your pre-injury average weekly earnings for a period of 52 weeks. So the initial 13 weeks is paid at 95% gross of your pre-injury average weekly earnings, including those allowances and shift penalties and so forth that I referred to. After 13 weeks, it drops to 80% gross of the same figure. And then after 52 weeks, it remains at 80%, but the inclusion of shift penalties, overtime, etc., are no longer calculated or used in the calculation for your entitlement, even though it's still 80% after 52 weeks. And that's 52 weeks of aggregate of payments, not necessarily 52 weeks from the date of injury, because you may go back to work and work without loss of income and go off payments for a while and then go off again. A lot of people get very confused about the 52 weeks and the ultimate 130 weeks, whereupon a lot of payments cease because you've got an entitlement for 130 weeks of payments. A lot of people think it's 52 weeks from the date of injury, or it's 130 weeks from the date of injury. It's not necessarily, it's an aggregate. So if you're on and off, you may not, you may go back to work, and 3 years down the track you go off work again. You've still got what I call weekly payments on the clock, so to speak. And the other thing that is really important for people to understand is that even taking a day off, that's counted as a payment. If you're paid compensation for 1 day off, that's actually counted as a payment, and it actually counts as a whole week's worth of payment. So what's really important for people who are at work but need treatment is to try and get your treatment after hours, because even if you take 2 hours off work to go and have your treatment and your claim's accepted and you're paid compensation for your 2 hours off, that counts as a whole week's payment under the system of the 52 weeks and 130 weeks that I've just explained. So it's important that people understand that.